Ditch the clocks and deadlines. Time is ours to define. In this world that's all mine, we let our spirits shine. Binging with benefits. Sisters watching flicks. It's the perfect fit. Binging with benefits.
Hi guys, welcome. We just did a whole intro and we were muted. So here we are. We're doing this again. Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Becca.
And this is Binging with Benefits. I don't even think we can recreate the entrance that we did.
I'm so
But
sorry.
just know that it was hilarious.
It had a lot of wicked songs.
Had a lot of wicked talent.
We were singing to you.
We were singing at you. And you should feel sufficiently welcomed by the welcome you did not hear.
Yeah. We did a pre-welcome.
A pre-welcome. We had a pre-game welcome party.
Yeah.
And you were invited. However, we forgot to open the door.
Literally. At least you notice now and not.
I know, literally
we're
halfway
back.
into it. I just
God.
realized, because I remembered muting my mic at one point, and then I was like, I don't think I ever pushed the button again.
Oh my gosh.
So here we are.
So funny. Like, we're like, oh my gosh, we're so funny. And then we're like, Jess is like, we're muted. And I'm like, okay, great.
Right. No one will ever know how funny we are.
No.
But that's
Sad.
okay. You know what? I'm okay with that. And the universe apparently was like, girls,
Yeah.
chill
Knock
out.
it down.
Knock it down a bit. Let's try some humility here.
Because I literally was saying, we're so funny that it's tragic.
And
It
then that
is-
started the wicked.
is a burden.
It is a burden upon us. Our shoulders are aching.
Yeah.
Book us massages.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh.
Man, speaking of humility and all of that, we thought it would be so fun. I don't know how this started. There's just like, I mean, everyone knows what the ick is.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't, God bless you. Like, you're a better human than I. But we've been seeing people talk online about their icks. And we thought it would be funny for us to sit and just share a list of our icks with each other. Now, we have to give a little bit of like a what's the word? Disclosure. A disclosure before we go into the icks. First of all, these are just icks. They're not per se going to be reasons that we will not continue a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
The ick can be overcome.
That was one thing I literally have on my notes.
Is to talk about this?
Yeah, because I actually was watching a clip of podcast and they
Yeah.
were talking about how icks have become standards.
Yes, and that is not the same.
That is
at
yes,
all.
no.
Standards, we could go into standards at some point, but we are not talking standards. The ick, sorry, I'm doing a weird, if you're watching videos, I will take a little side tour. I have like an elastic that I wear on my wrist that I fidget with a lot, and I'm doing it at Becca's face, like a Jacob's ladder cat's cradle situation.
Literally.
And she just keeps staring
I'm
at it.
just
I'm like,
like-
why? What's wrong with this?
I'm like, there's a hand in my face.
There's
with
a
rubber
hand
band.
in my face. Anyway, so the ick is something completely different. It's just little things that someone does that for some reason makes you do a little double take. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Do I like
do I like this person? This is very beautifully displayed on the show Nobody Wants This.
Mm-hmm.
There's a-
Prego. Please go watch that show.
Oh my gosh, Nobody Wants This. The episode is called The Ick, and it's just so it explains it perfectly.
Literally encapsulates it perfectly.
Yes, like
He's holding a bouquet of flowers and he's patting it like a
doing
baby.
yes, he's doing all the right things,
And she's got so much
and he's
ick.
wearing a sport coat over his basketball clothes.
Like yeah.
He's doing all the right things. The
No,
effort's
yeah.
there, but it just doesn't make sense. And suddenly she's pinpointing all the things that suddenly she's seeing like all these random items. Like
It's
in
so
the
good.
show, he says "prego" too loud, and
Prego.
she's like, "What is happening?" So that is what this is. These are
Yes.
we've taken some time to just kind of go through the caverns of our brain and pick out some things that would be the ick for us. Did I explain that properly?
I think so. This one I have to preface.
Okay.
And Jessica, you already know this, but this is the only one that this applies to. I have what's called serial rules.
Yes, she does. I hoped you would talk about this.
I don't make people follow these rules. This
These
is
are just
something
rules for
that I
herself.
do. I'm never going to be like, wow, you cannot do that. But my rules for cereal are very strict. They cannot be broken. So You don't drink the milk.
Absolutely not.
Do not drink the milk. That's so gross.
Honestly, I'm saying this earnestly. Do not do that. I hate that
so
too.
gross.
Sorry, I'm like choking
Yeah,
thinking
no.
about it. Okay, keep
Absolutely not. If you want a second bowl of cereal, you need to get a whole new bowl and a whole new spoon, regardless of the fact that you just washed that one.
Or if you still have milk left over from the previous.
no.
New milk.
New milk.
Does this also go for if it's the same type of cereal? You need new milk?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it is very strict. And also, I will say that I broke one of my cereal rules.
What?
Very recently.
On purpose?
Yeah. But
But
my other rule is like just you can't share a bowl of cereal.
no, who's sharing cereal?
That's a no-no. But I was eating a bowl of cereal. My 3-year-old niece walked by and she goes, "I bite." And I said, "Oh my gosh, okay." The turmoil in my head was like, do I?
Does
That's
Aunt
breaking a
Becky
rule.
cave to the wants of her niece?
I bite?
I bite?
I bite at that.
I mean, 100%. If that girl had a snotty nose and asked me for a bite
I
of anything,
know.
I would 100% give it to her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I gave her a bite and then she walked away and that was all
Did you
she
finish
needed. And I was like, great.
Did she finish the bowl after that?
Yeah.
Did you get a new spoon?
No. I know. I was like, I need to work.
Progress.
I need to work through this.
So what we're learning here is if you love them enough.
Yeah, then it doesn't matter.
I think that's the story to be told for all icks, though. If you love them enough, the icks don't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's good.
Okay, what's yours?
Okay, my first one kind of goes in with yours. My first ick is if they drink cow milk.
Ah! That is
Yeah.
number 2 on my list.
I knew we were going to have some things on here.
Literally cow's milk in a glass.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I will sometimes use cow milk for my cereal
Oh.
because some cereals I do not need the almond milk flavor because that has a
Yeah,
very distinct
That's
flavor.
fair.
So like if I can, I'll use like a soy milk for that. But if a grown man is drinking a glass of milk, cow's milk,
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry. And heaven forbid it's anything above a 2%. I do not need to see the film on your glass after you put that glass down. That's an ick for me. My next ick is if he describes himself as an entrepreneur. Like that is borderline like a red flag borderline for me because then if a man is describing himself as an entrepreneur, one, that means you likely are not like focused enough to stick with one thing for very long. Or also like, how many businesses have you actually ran, babe?
Yeah, I would say the same thing because let's say I was like, I'm an entrepreneur and I own my own business, whatever.
Right.
If I own my own business and I'm actively having an income from that business, I'm saying I'm a business owner.
That's what I mean. So like that's the difference is like if they say I'm an entrepreneur, it means like, oh, you start things but don't finish.
Exactly. Yeah.
What
No,
else
that
are
is-
you gonna start and not finish for me,
Yeah,
babe?
literally.
Okay.
Literally. No, that's a good one.
Next. What's yours?
Okay.
Next one.
This one actually came up today
Oh.
while I was watching the show.
Oh, okay, okay.
I was watching Married at First Sight,
Yes.
which we love. Australia. There was one guy who they were asking, "Oh, like what's your favorite rom-com?" You know, like in the interviews process. And instantly my head was like, "Do not say The Notebook.
Interesting.
Don't say The Notebook because that is the textbook answer when boys don't know what to say. They say The Notebook.
That's hilarious.
Come on, that's nobody's favorite movie. That movie is so
I
sad.
think there's probably quite a few people who it is a favorite movie for. But for it to be a man's favorite movie, that would be few and far between.
Like, come on, that's not your favorite rom-com.
okay. We love
That's like your copy and paste answer.
Yeah.
I want your real answer.
This is what you think I want to hear.
No, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear your real answer.
We want to hear your real answer. I love that. I had on here, I don't know if we keep this or not.
Okay.
If they use the word blindsided.
I say let's keep it.
Yeah, if they use the word blindsided.
Yep.
I don't know what, like, if there's a man who was in a relationship, because, like, let's face it, we're at the age where if a man has not been in a serious relationship, it's likely going to be an ick. So that's maybe this is where this is coming in. But if he was in a serious relationship, whether that be marriage or long-term commitment, and he suddenly is left by the woman, quote unquote, and is blindsided, I urge them to listen to Kelsey Ballerini's song Blindsided.
No, literally.
Were you blindsided or were you just blind?
No, literally, because were you not in Like literally in the lyrics.
The lyrics is like, years of therapy, you sat across from me.
Yeah.
Were you blindsided or were you just blind?
Yeah. Like you were there, weren't you?
Exactly.
You're the other half of this
you're the other
relationship.
half of this relationship. You were there.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no. That's a nick for me at this point in my life.
Love it. Mine is being late.
Okay. Well, this tracks for you.
Okay, but I will say there are exceptions, but I was like, that drives me crazy when people are late.
I get that.
Because, and I'm not saying like 10 minutes late, there's traffic. Sure, I get it.
Right.
I'm talking
an hour and a half
late. I haven't received a text. I'm still sitting here with my shoes on.
My shoes are on. That is a big deal for me.
Okay,
for
Becca,
first of all, yes, that is a big deal for her.
If I can go anywhere barefoot, I will. I hate shoes. But if I'm sitting there with my shoes on, I better be going somewhere. I don't want to be sitting at home waiting for you to be like, okay, now I'm ready.
Dare you? That's so funny.
How dare you make me sit in my shoes?
I love that. That's so funny. Okay, my next one. This actually was inspired by a TikTok. Thinking about, like, if you were to see that man tread water.
It's so funny because it's like pointed toes. Oh my gosh.
The camera starts above the water and then it goes down below the water, and thinking about what the bottom half of his body is doing. It's so funny to me. It's mostly funny. I think that's like the lightest of my icks.
Yeah.
It's not that serious for me, but I thought it was great.
Yeah. I mean, none of these are deal breakers.
No, for
me,
sure.
But I mean, the cereal rules are pretty strict. I'm just kidding. So one of my icks, again, learned this through reality TV.
Okay. I learned from TikTok. She learns from reality TV.
I love it. But it's an ick if they don't wear pink.
Okay.
Because I have to say, if you're afraid to wear a quote unquote girl color,
I swear.
I hate that quote. Like, I mean, like,
yeah,
there are no boy colors, there are no girl colors.
Right.
I'm so sorry to tell you,
they're
just
all
not
gender neutral.
If you're afraid to wear pink because you're like, oh, well, the people think I'm gay, whatever, is your masculinity that fragile?
Yeah, 100% agree with this.
Like,
and I think for me, it's not red flag. It is a little bit of an ick when somebody says, like, sometimes I'll throw that in there casually, like, well, like, how do you feel about wearing pink? But if they show up unannounced wearing pink, massive green flags, baby. Love it. That's such a good one. If we're eating and they have food around their mouth, like, absolutely not. You could be the sweetest man on earth, but if you have food around your mouth and you don't, like, I understand that there's certain things that you eat, you're gonna have food, but, like, if you do not try to wipe that up instantly and you try to talk to me with a pile of sour cream in the corner of your mouth. Yeah, exactly. Becca started vomiting. Not vomiting, but she started gagging.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not. And Becca knows, like, I make a specific face when I'm biting into things because I'm so scared of getting food around my mouth.
Just, like, scrunch your face and, like, show all your teeth. That's the face she makes.
I don't want food on my mouth, and I don't want it on yours either. Anyway, so that's another one.
If they label their ex as crazy.
100% agree.
Because I'm a girl's girl.
Yep.
What did you do to her?
If she's crazy, you drove her there.
No, literally. We've had so
you
many
drove me here. That's from Parks and Rec. Yeah, that's great. My next ick. These next two are borderline red flags, borderline end relationship.
Ooh, okay.
I would say this probably could be an ick. Okay, this could be an ick if there's good enough reason. Okay. If he doesn't talk to any of his family. I am huge into family. But if he tells me that he doesn't talk to anyone in his family, there better be a pretty damn good reason, or they're all in the grave or something like that. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, that could be an ick, or that could be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
So
I think
you decide, babes.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. Pet names before meeting in person. We've discussed this. I do not like this.
I love it.
Don't call me hun.
Don't call me hun. Don't call me sweetie.
We have not met.
Don't call me kid. Don't call me baby. Okay, we're
Anyway,
just quoting
So
everything.
yeah, I just don't enjoy it. So don't do
Yeah.
it.
That's
it.
actually like, I mean, if you believe like the dating coaches and stuff like that, they say that's actually red flags of love
Mm.
bombing.
Yeah, I feel like it's like false.
It's creating false sense of
Ye-
security and emotional
Yeah,
attachment.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Mhm.
we have not met. We've texted for 2 days. You're fine.
You
like, please chill.
literally don't need to call me baby.
Literally.
Literally. Don't call me baby. Okay, this is another one this one technically is a deal breaker for me, but it's on my ick list.
Okay.
And I think it's a deal breaker for most women
Mhm.
if he uses the C word.
Oh, absolutely.
The second you say that
No.
word, and if you're
Done.
not serving C word, or if you're not using it in the way of like the girls,
Mm.
gays, and the theys, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
If you use the C word to describe a woman,
No.
straight to jail.
Literally, I will get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Actually, first I'll slap your face and then I'll get up and walk away. Because absolutely not.
But yeah, it's on my ick list, but it should be a deal breaker for me.
That is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Okay, this one. If they blow on their food. Just wait. Like, if it's hot, just wait. I don't get it. You blow on your food? No. Go sit there and wait for it to be
I mean, I don't like
temperature
take the
ready.
bullet to my face and I mean, I'll like get a spoonful and do a little.
No. What is that doing?
Well, I'm too hungry to wait.
No.
No.
That's when you eat a granola bar and then you eat whatever you're eating.
Lots of food rules.
I do.
That's hilarious. That's a good ick. Really good ick. That is definition ick.
Don't blow on your food. Just
Don't blow on
wait.
your food.
It's fine. It'll be there in 2 minutes. You can wait.
But everyone else is eating and I want to eat too. And it's not my fault. Maybe it is my fault that I can't handle hot food.
So funny.
Okay, my last one. If he talks fast.
Oh.
I don't know why that like bothers me so much, but if he's talking at me and he's over animated,
Oh.
like, look, sir, only one of us can be a performer.
That spot already taken.
Hello, it has been cast. The role is filled. You cannot sit there and try to out yap me. But if he talks like too fast, it jumps subjects. Dude, I'm describing myself. This is terrible.
You're like, if he does everything I do,
If he does everything I do, then hex no.
Ick.
I was gonna say if he jumps subjects too fast, but but not in an ADD way. Like, because I have ADD and my brain goes squirrel so fast.
yeah.
But I always come back.
Yeah.
But if
So what are you saying? Like, if he's like, oh yeah, this race car thing I saw, whatever, and then, oh yeah, we should go to dinner, like that?
It's just
Or-
like, it gives, I think it reminds me of specific people. And so it's a massive ick for me.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's specific people who they talk really fast. They talk over you to talk fast.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, we're walking out.
We are active listeners in this here chat, bro.
Mhm. You can exit the chat.
You can exit stage left because I'm the performer.
I'm on the stage.
I'm on the stage and you are merely the audience. Anyway, that's my last one. What about you?
Okay, saying that they are alpha.
Oh my God. See, to me, that feels so. That's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. Don't tell me you're alpha.
Don't tell me you're alpha. Alpha men don't need to say they're alpha.
No. And also, golden retriever. If you say
Oh, if you describe
yourself
okay.
as a golden retriever, you are not a golden retriever.
So basically, the girls, the men's version of the girl saying, "I'm an empath."
Yeah. It's
Got it.
No.
Okay, because if a girl says, "Oh, I'm an empath," it's like there is a 75% chance that you're not.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
if a man says he's alpha, or if he describes himself as a golden retriever,
Yeah. Well, let's say alpha is a deal breaker. If he says that, oh yeah, I'm alpha. Sit down, sir.
yeah, for me that is a deal breaker.
The golden retriever thing is just an ick.
Okay, I
For
get
me.
that. I get that.
But anyway,
Those are great.
that
icks.
was a good one.
My favorite ick of yours was blowing on the food. That killed me so much.
You know what? It really does drive me crazy when I see it.
Do you see people because I think a lot of people in our family do it.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. I just hold my tongue. But yeah, I can't stand it.
Are you ready for this?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
First of all, just be prepared.
Okay.
This is like a 15-year-old boy's wet dream of Megan Fox. We are watching Subservience today. Or we're not watching it. You don't have to watch this. If that's your jam, you're more than welcome to watch this.
So funny.
It's definitely worth a laugh. So it's on Netflix and it came out in 2024. Oh. Movie. We're introduced to a man named Nick, and he has 2 kids. His daughter's name is Isla, and I think the baby's name is Max. Isla, who's probably about like 6 or 7. So we see him driving. He's like having a memory, a flashback of him and a woman in bed. His wife is named Maggie. It's morning. Maggie's teasing him, trying to start something. Also, this couple, we learn, just heads up, they love sex. They really do. Okay. Which is
right off the bat.
right off the bat. This is what I mean. It's like it's a 15-year-old's wet dream.
Oh my
Okay,
God. A
but-
15-year-old wrote this.
No, literally, I'm pretty sure. And she's like teasing him in bed in the morning, and he's trying to get ready for work. And she's like, "Oh my God, you always play by the rules. Just come back to bed." You know,
By the
I know, it's like, what, him going to work is playing by the rules?
Yeah.
Anyways, she's like, "Come back to bed." Da, 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 da. And he's like, "Well, we'll play later. Like, I'm gonna go to work."
Dead.
Dead. And then the baby cries. And so she's like, "You have to go to work. I have to be a mom." So she's getting up out of bed. And then suddenly she clutches her heart. And Nick is like, "Maggie, Maggie, Maggie." And so it like seems like mom had a heart attack. Okay. We cut back to they're driving through the streets. The daughter, Isla, is like, "Dad, can we have lasagna for dinner?" And Dad's like, "That's mom's recipe, bug."
Oh my God.
Like-
Wait, hold on. She can't. He's not going to make her lasagna because it's mom's recipe?
Yeah.
And she's not here.
You don't get lasagna.
Rude.
I know.
Okay,
How
first of
dare
all,
you?
she's just asking for lasagna. She's just a little girl.
She's just a girl standing in front of her dad asking for lasagna.
I don't understand what the problem is.
But yeah, so he's refusing her lasagna.
Sad.
They go to this IKEA center for Sims, what they call Sims, like the house helper AI people. So it's obvious he is there shopping for some kind of a house helper. So a salesman walks up to Nick and is like, "Hey, like I see you're looking for our home models." And they abide by the 3 C's. They do the cooking, cleaning, and childcare. You can have an upgrade for a Thai massage. Remember, this man loves sex, okay? Like,
Is this like a happy ending Thai massage?
I think so. I think that's what the guy is implying there. It was like, yeah, she's a nanny, she's a cook, and she's a cleaner also. I know. So while Nick is talking to salesman guy, Isla disappears. And so they're like frantically looking for her. And then we cut to Isla. She's walking through all these different vignettes and she stops at one that's like chopping onions like a chef level. She's like, "Do you know how to make lasagna?" This girl just wants lasagna.
This poor girl.
I know. So basically, Dad finds her because the sim that she asked if she can make lasagna is walking around holding her hand, looking for the owner of this child. This sim, who is Megan Fox's character, she's like, "Is this one yours?" And Nick's like, "Oh my gosh, Isla, how dare you walk off, blah, 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 blah." Continue shopping. Obviously, Megan Fox is a sim, so she's like a robot. So then we just cut to the next morning. Dad's struggling in the kitchen. Baby's crying, trying to get Isla ready for school. Like he's single dad lifing at this house, okay? And the doorbell rings. He opens the door and Megan Fox's character is there.
Oh.
He bought this sim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whoever dropped the sim off.
Okay.
So he's like, "Come on in. Like, let me show you around." As they're walking up the stairs, she notices that the stair rail is wobbly. Like, and he's like, I haven't fixed that yet. Like,
Yeah.
She's like, "I can fix it. I'll fix it for you." And so they finish the tour. She's like, "Okay, you're the primary owner. Do you want to add an additional owner?" And he's like, "No, I guess not."
Immediately my head went to, if he gives it to Isla, she will ask for lasagna. And Dad will be so mad.
No, exactly. It's like giving a little girl access to the Alexa on the counter
Yeah.
and they order $50,000 worth of Shopkins or
Or-
whatever.
Or it's our niece, Kate, who is 3, who goes,
Yes.
"Alexa, play Pink Pony Crab."
Alexa,
Alexa.
Pink Pony Club.
Quab. I know, she's so cute. Anyway,
She's
shout out
adorable.
Kate.
Okay, we're just gonna always shout out our niece and
I
nephew.
know.
Sorry, nieces. We have 2. Anyway, so Isla comes into the room where Nick is having this like handbook conversation with Megan Fox's character. And Isla's like, "Well, does she have a name?" And Dad's like, "No, like, what do you want to name her?" And Isla's holding the book, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So we name Megan Fox's character Alice. Okay.
Not Cheshire Cat.
I know, right? Like creepy.
You missed
smile
an
Cheshire Cat.
opportunity.
Yeah. Isla goes to school. Everyone leaves for the day. Alice is there to like care for the home. Now it's the end of the day. They all come home. The house is pristine clean. Groceries are there. Like Alice is taking care of everything. And dinner is lasagna.
Oh, God bless America.
I know, exactly.
Lasagna, man.
Lasagna. So Isla's stoked, but she's like, this isn't mom's recipe. And Ted's like, no, duh, I told you. Like,
I tried to explain to you.
it. No one knows how to make it like mom.
No one listens to me.
Silly girl. Little girl. Little girl. Shout out Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
We love them.
We love Mary Cosby. Little girl. Max is crying. And Nick kind of jokingly says, like, oh my goodness, like, he's quite the little burden. Nothing but trouble. Like, and Alice is like, well, do you want me to take him so he doesn't bother you? And he's like, no, I mean, you can just go get a bottle ready. And so she goes to get a bottle ready. Then it's nighttime and the whole house is asleep. Not a creature is stirring. Not even an Alice. Okay. Isla has come downstairs in the middle of the night looking for a snack, and she's climbing up onto a counter trying to get a cookie jar.
Oh.
Upstairs, we're with Nick. He's like sitting in bed and he hears a crash and a scream downstairs. So he rushes downstairs and he sees that it appears Isla has fallen and Alice catches her.
Oh.
So Alice
ow.
woke up out of her slumber to catch Isla. He's like, oh my gosh, like what happened? And Alice is like, oh, the little one just wanted a snack. Alice is injured. She's got like glass in her leg and her hand. He's like, oh, well, let me put her to bed and like we'll get you fixed up. He comes and he finds Alice in the bathroom and like she is in like her underwear, and her underwear is like, she just looks very sexy in her.
Oh my,
She's
of course.
to fix the thing on her leg that was easily accessible because this woman's in a short dress, and the thing on her arm, she had to get completely undressed to her knickers.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, of
So
course.
this 15-year-old wet dream, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And so she's in the bathroom in her underwear trying to repair, and Nick walks in and he's like, a man who loves sex.
Yeah, whoopsie.
Oh my gosh. She has human
I'll very
anatomy.
slowly close my eyes.
Exactly. And so he's like, okay, well, are your clothes, because I guess her dress did get a little cut.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, we can repair your clothes. She like magic Wolverine heals herself. I only have my wife's clothes, so I'm just going to give you some of hers. And so he gives her some of Maggie's clothes. Next scene. We're at the hospital, and guess what? Mom's alive.
Okay.
This whole time I kind of thought mom died.
Yeah.
Especially because he's like not giving primary user access to anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, he's single dad life. No, Maggie's alive in the hospital.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
They're all visiting the hospital. They've even brought Alice. She just has some kind of a heart issue. She's waiting for a heart transplant is what's
Oh.
going on.
Okay.
Okay. And Maggie sees the sim and she's like, I thought you were going to get like a British butler dude. She's like,
Caught.
I have an issue with how attractive this AI sim
Yeah,
is.
I
Hello,
would
it's Megan
too.
Fox.
It's Megan freaking Fox.
Are you kidding me? Hello, she's stunning.
Stunning.
And so Nick is like, okay, well, let's not do this in front of the kids and in front of the AI sim who I definitely want to bang.
Yeah.
Alice, go take the kids to go get water. So Alice takes all the kids out and he's like trying to get like remind Maggie like, oh, you're still my bae. You're still my boo. Do people say bae anymore? Actually, I don't know. You're still my boo. And so he's talking to her and Maggie's like, I'm at the top of the heart transplant list. He starts trying to like quiet her fears and like starts trying to get sexy with her in a hospital bed.
Oh.
She has a weak heart, dude. And he's like,
Yeah. Can we just, yeah, she's hooked up to stuff.
yeah.
She has a weak heart.
And he's trying to like raise her heart rate, baby. I know.
I'm appalled.
This couple loves sex.
Okay, but I don't care.
But here's the thing, I don't care. And then they make some comment about like, ooh, we're going to test out that new heart of yours. Once I know, it's so gross.
Ugh.
It's gross. All right, so now we're following Nick to work.
Okay.
And he works in construction. Okay, so he's at a job site where they're like building like high-rise buildings, and it's like the typical crew banter that's happening. Like there's a guy talking about like a hot lady he tried to date. It's like it's textbook nonsense. And then they happen to look up and there's a bunch of people in suits touring. And so Nick corners the boss and he's like, hi, why are you having a sim company tour the site? Like the guy's like, it's taking too long with humans. We're gonna hire a bunch of sims.
Yeah.
We are way behind schedule, way over budget.
You guys are talking about girls too much.
You guys are just sitting there talking about catcalling all day long. So basically, it's understood that Nick is going to be the one person that's left on staff to manage all the sim people, and all of his friends are going to get fired.
That's so sad.
After the kids go to bed, Nick is like blowing off steam in the garage. He's working on an old car.
Wow.
But like the way that this actor is working on a car, it's like he doesn't know anything about cars. Like he's just kind of like, if I were to go and be like, I'm going to work on a car,
car?
I'll be like, that's the flangy, that's the thingamabob, and that's the monster catcher. Like,
the
you know,
monster catcher.
you know nothing about cars. It's obvious to me, who also knows nothing about cars, that you know nothing about cars.
That is so
he's like
funny.
working on
You're not
scene.
fooling me, and I don't know anything about cars.
Exactly. And there's like massive decibels of music playing in the garage. Okay. And then the music stops and Nick turns around. It's like, what the heck? And Alice is there. And she turns on something else, something a little bit more soothing. And he's like, what the crap? Like, what are you doing,
Change my
lady?
playlist? Rude.
Yeah, hello, I'm jamming. And she's like, and he's like, drunk, been drinking. He's like, you Sims just come in, you take people's jobs, da 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 da. And she's like, hold on, buddy. You could have hired a real person for my job.
Yeah.
But you chose a sim because it's effective. We don't get tired. And we have no other desires outside of fulfilling your desires. And then she pours him a drink. So she's like, get drunk, baby. Now the kids are asleep. Nick is in the den and he's watching Casablanca. Alice is in the background and he notices and he's like talking to her like, this is the best movie ever. Forget everything that you know about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, in order for me to forget, you have to reset my system. Pushes the button, she resets and she forgets everything she knows about Casablanca. And then they sit and they watch Casablanca together. There's a call from Maggie. Nick wakes up and he answers the phone and he's like, oh my God, they found a heart. So everyone rushes to the hospital, like they're prepping her for surgery. And Maggie asks to be alone with Alice.
Oh.
And so Nick's like, okay, you're going to talk to my side chick? That's really scary.
You're going to talk to my side chick.
And so Nick takes the kids out and Maggie's talking to Alice. Maggie's like, if I'm not around anymore. And Alice interrupts her. She's like, you mean if you die?
Jeez.
I know. And Maggie's like, if I die,
Yeah.
I need you to take care of Nick. He drinks a lot. You need to take the alcohol away from him. And Alice is like, well, he's my primary user. Basically, like, I have to listen to him. Who are you? He did not designate you as a user, so it must not be that serious. You know? Basically, it ends up that there doesn't end up being a heart. Like, the heart didn't make the journey to Maggie. Maggie is sad. Nick is back in the garage, and he is now listening to angry music.
Of course.
Listening to angry music, working on his cars, going tink, tink, tink with his wrench. And he like drops a tool. He gets angry. He grabs the bottle of whatever he's drinking and he tries to smash it against the wall. And Alice stops his hand. And
wow.
Tantrum.
Okay. I literally was like, okay, can we just like, there are other ways to express ourselves.
There are other ways to express ourselves other than throwing things. To remember, this man is also an alcoholic, it seems.
Yeah, clearly.
And he's dealing with a lot. He's like, he can't make lasagna. That's really hard.
He can't do it.
So Alice stops him and he kind of grabs her arm to like fight back. And then he realizes, oh my gosh, Alice has a pulse.
Whoa. What?
And he's like, why do you have a pulse? Like, he's like freaked out. And she's like, a pulse kind of soothes babies. Basically, I'm built to soothe people. And then she shoves her hand onto Nick's pants. Yeah, she is very much like, I was told to take care of you.
Soothe people?
Exactly.
Soothe everybody?
She's like, I can feel your response.
No.
Your suffering is not productive, Nick. I can help you.
My gosh.
And he like obviously is like, I don't know what to do here.
This is a trap.
This is a trap. He stops her and then he's like, oh, Max needs me. Max needs me.
Literally gagging. Literally just gagged.
Becca literally just gagged.
I have to remember, 15-year-old wrote this. 15-year-old, all right?
So he leaves, okay? He's going for a run. He's like trying to work off what just happened, okay? While he's breathing heavy, he is imagining if he had completed that scene with Alice.
Ew.
Okay, so we see like, yeah, they get down on dirty on the hood of his car. Every man's dream, okay?
Yeah.
He's now visiting Maggie in the hospital. She starts talking, like prepping Nick for the possibility of her not being in the future. And she starts saying things like, when Max grows older and goes to college, don't let him put band posters up on his wall because those kids never get laid. Like she's like, one, okay, first of all, let's take a moment here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the kids who have like the band posters do get laid. Like, I don't think whether you have posters up in your room determines whether you get laid. But also, this is her baby.
I was going to say,
currently a baby. And she
is
is
eating solid food. And she's like, he needs to get laid.
He needs to get laid in college. She's thinking about her baby having sex. I know. I'm like, okay, 15-year-old what?
Again.
It's
Yeah.
all about sex. This whole thing is about sex. Okay. And he's like, don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. You know, like trying to stop
He's
her.
like, yeah, it's gross.
Nick is meeting his friends that just got fired at
Mhm.
a bar, and everyone's angry about the Sims, but everyone understands why Nick took the job. And then they're driving home. I think Nick is driving, but he's obviously not sober.
Don't do that.
Exactly. Please don't do that. And one of his buddies, the guy who was talking really crude about women in the earlier scene, he's like, let's go to the job site. I left some of my tools there. And so Nick's like, oh, yeah, sure, let's go. It's middle of the night, right? They go and they get into the job site, and it's obvious that they're actually not there for tools. Like the guy's like, you have a code for these lockers that all the Sims are stored in, right? I bet I could guess the code. When was Isla born again? And so he uses the code. He wakes up some of the Sims, and they all start filing out one by one. And basically these people just start demolishing these Sims. And
Again with the tantrums.
Again with the tantrums.
There's a thing called therapy men.
You know what?
These men in the story.
Some
you
of
need to
these
go to
issues
therapy.
would be resolved if you went to therapy. Let's normalize therapizing men. Now Nick has come home.
Mhm.
He has participated in destroying these Sims. He's showering off. There's not a towel in there. And Alice appears out of nowhere, and she's got a towel. And he's like, oh my God, like you're seeing me naked. Oh wow. Gee, golly willikers.
Again, yeah.
So he like grabs a towel and he like covers himself up, and he notices Alice is wearing Maggie's robe.
Oh.
He's like, that's Maggie's robe. Why are you wearing that? And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, the smell calms Max. And
Okay.
he's like, take that off. But he motions with his head to like go into the other room and change.
Yeah. No, that doesn't happen. That
The way
doesn't
I'm
happen,
looking
does
at
it?
you, no, it does not happen. She takes it off, like in a very seductress way. Is seductress a word? I'm going to say it's a word. She's
Okay.
also wearing Maggie's lingerie. And that's the only thing I can assume, because it's not the same underwear that she was wearing when he saw her the first time. Okay.
Ew.
He's like, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Like what? Like trying to be like, no, don't. I'm a good man. I have a wife at home. I have children. You know, like, and he tries to leave, and she stops him. She starts mimicking Maggie's voice, and she's like, "You do so much. Let me take care of you." In Maggie's voice.
Ew.
I know. And so she's like, "What?" Basically, like, "What if I blindfold you?" And so she uses the sash from the robe
Oh
to
my
like
gosh.
tie around his eyes. Yeah. It works. He's like, oh, yeah, you sound like my wife. I'm not looking at you. This isn't wrong.
Wow.
But girl, they're in the bathroom. Where are they having sex?
No, on the toilet?
On the toilet.
What?
She's a robot. She can't get wet. They can't be in the shower.
No.
So, yes, he is sitting on the toilet.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Next morning, it's like Isla and Alice are in the kitchen. Nick is coming down the stairs, and Alice is like, we need to keep Daddy's blood pressure down. You just raised it last night, girl.
I was going to say, do you want to talk about blood pressure? Blood pressure?
So Nick comes into the kitchen, and he sends Isla away, and he's like, look, that can't happen ever again. And she goes, were you not satisfied with my performance?
No.
And then he shows up at his work job site. Okay. And it's obviously a mess because they just beat up all these Sims, and the bosses are there. All the men in suits are there.
I literally didn't clean up.
And they're like, I mean, obviously, Nick, you did this.
Oh, yeah.
Your code was used.
Dummy.
It's like, no, it wasn't me. Like, I was with Maggie all last night. Magically, he gets a phone call in the middle of this conversation with his boss, and it's Maggie.
Oh.
They found another heart.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so he goes back to the hospital, and we see the surgery is actually happening.
Wow. Okay. Great.
And it's being done by Sims. She's recovering. So guess what they're having for dinner?
Is it lasagna?
It's lasagna. And then Maggie goes to bed. From downstairs a little bit later, she hears Isla yelling, stop, get off me. And so she starts freaking out, and she runs down the stairs. And remember that banister that Alice said she was going to fix?
Yeah.
It's implied that she loosened a banister for Maggie to come running down the stairs, because then the banister breaks and Maggie falls down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
And as she falls down the stairs, it's apparent that Alice isn't actually doing anything to Isla. She's having a tickle fight with Isla
Oh my gosh.
at the base of the stairs,
Okay.
where it's prime hearing for Maggie.
Ah.
Okay. So she set this up. And so Alice helps her back up to bed. She's like, oh no, you fell. So sorry. So now it's later. Nick has like set up this romantic night outside under like a pergola and like with twinkle lights and everything for Maggie. And he wakes
for who?
Exactly, right? We're like, we're not quite sure at this point. He brings Maggie out, and Alice is watching. So Alice is obviously getting jealous. Okay. The night progresses back
Okay.
upstairs to the shower.
Okay.
Yes. This couple loves sex, okay?
But she just had not only open heart surgery. She has a bad heart. She got a new heart. Open heart surgery. She falls down the stairs.
Yes.
And then within the same day, she is ready to go again.
You know what? Remember they were talking about doing a marathon and they were going to test her new heart.
This is okay.
Look, Alice is just helping. She was testing that new heart by breaking that banister.
My gosh. Okay.
I know, right? It starts in the shower. It ends up in the bed. And she's, facing the door, and she opens her eyes and she sees that Alice is standing in the doorway.
Ew.
And she's like, Isla had a nightmare and she wants dad. And then she turns and walks away.
Ew.
Right?
Okay. How long was she standing there?
We don't know. We don't know how long she was watching them outside of the pergola.
That's true.
So we don't know. Maggie's gone to bed. Nick is outside cleaning up from the romantic evening in the backyard. And his old friend from the job site, the one who was crude and beat up the Sims, he just lets himself into their backyard. And he's got a beer. And he's like, my wife left me. The people are now suing his friend.
Like the company is suing.
So the company is now coming after this friend because of the Sim attack. My life is falling apart and it's all your fault, basically. Alice appears out of nowhere and she protects him. Like she grabs his hand before he can do anything. And the guy's like, you hired a freaking Sim? Like, how dare you? And basically convinces him, like, you're stupid. Go home. Like, you're being ridiculous. Go home. Nick is now going back to the garage. He's having a conversation with Alice. She's like, your children need at least one parent.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, excuse me? And she's like, look, Maggie's going to die.
By her own hand or by someone
I don't know
else's?
how, but
We don't
she's
know.
going to disappear. Then she changes back to Maggie's voice. She's like, I'll be Maggie. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, you'll never be her.
Yeah. So
And so
you
he-
crazy girl.
Exactly. He goes to bed. He's like, I'm not entertaining it. Like, this man loves to storm out of a conversation.
clearly.
He has some issues with his emotions. So we cut to the friend's house. Remember the friend who showed up?
Yeah.
His name is, I'm looking at my notes. Apparently his name is Monty. We're at the house and Alice shows up at his house. He opens the door. He's like, you freaking Sim. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing here? And she starts threatening him. And then you hear somebody in the background of Monty's house.
Oh, okay.
And Alice starts fighting Monty. She's there to kill Monty. And as she's about to like hit him, a Sim comes out of the shadows.
Oh,
It's apparent that he is mistreating the Sim. She looks like a battered woman. She's trying to stop Alice. She's like, I have to protect him. Like, he's my primary user. No, you don't.
nah.
And she basically shoots the Sim and then shoots Monty. She has a gun,
Okay.
by the way.
Oh, okay.
She somehow
It's like she has the gun. Okay.
she kills the Sim, then kills Monty. Okay.
Wow.
The next day, we're at the job site. Nick is there trying to work, and the boss comes up to him. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I heard about Monty. He's dead. Your friend is dead."
My gosh.
And Nick's like, "What? I just saw him last night. Like, how did that happen?"
Yeah.
We're going back and forth again. Okay. Like, we're home. Maggie is reading a book in the bath, and Alice appears, and Maggie's like, "You don't have to stay here." She's like, "No, I'll stay.
I'd rather you wouldn't.
I'd rather you not sit here and watch me in the bath." And Alice is like, "Well, people drown in bathtubs all the time." Yes, a little scary, right? And Nick would be really sad if you were to drown.
Oh my gosh.
And then Alice starts having a conversation with Maggie, and she's like, you're unable to meet his physical needs.
Oh my gosh.
Alice is like, oh, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just letting you know I'm happy to take on that role.
What?
And Maggie's like, excuse what?
What?
It's late at night. Maggie is downstairs sitting at the table. Nick's coming home from work really, really late. And she's got wine, and she's just sitting there like, doing the thing that like a jilted woman does with wine, sitting at the table waiting for her husband to come home. She's like swirling the wine in the glass, sitting at the table. Right. Also, are you supposed to have wine after open heart surgery? I don't think so.
Every doctor is like, what is this movie?
So basically, she's like, you slept with Alice.
Yeah.
And Nick starts yelling and like,
no, I didn't.
Being a man trying to cover his tracks. Like, so they're fighting. Alice can hear Max crying upstairs. And so she goes up. Like, I don't know how she gets in the house, but she gets into the house and goes into Max's room. And you can hear Nick and Maggie downstairs fighting. And Alice is there staring at Max in the crib, just going, little burden. So she picks up Max and takes him to the bath.
No.
And she runs the water. Isla wakes up because she hears the yelling. And she goes into the bathroom and she sees Alice. What are you doing? And then Alice comes and like closes the door. Isla runs downstairs like, Alice has Max in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So they all come running upstairs. They're trying to get in. Alice is holding the door and she's like, this is for the best. He's a burden. You called him a burden
Jeez.
multiple times. Like, I'm just trying to make your life easier. Sometimes loving somebody is doing what's
God.
for the best, even if it's hard. Maggie, open heart surgery, fell downstairs.
Yeah.
Maggie is now outside in the cold and 0 dark 30 night, and she is scaling the side of the house because this bathroom is upstairs, okay?
Oh my
So she's scaling
gosh.
the side of the house, like climbing a trellis, climbing across the roof, and trying to get into the bathroom. So she gets in through the window as Alice is holding the door, and she gets Max out of the tub. Alice hears her, turns around, attacks Maggie. So he's using the lamp to attack Alice. And as he goes to he yells at Maggie to plug in the lamp.
Okay.
And as he like uses it to like kind of joust her, and Alice grabs the top of it. The lamp is now on, and it electrocutes Alice. Okay. Bye, Alice. So they're like, we defeated the sim.
We did it.
We did it. High five. So Alice is down for the count. And now we're outside. The ambulance is there. Alice is taken away by the company. They're taking the kids and Maggie in an ambulance. And Nick tries to get in the ambulance. She's like, no.
Be with your girlfriend.
You be with your girlfriend. Even though your girlfriend now is dead. So the ambulance drives away with Maggie and the kids and leaves Nick standing out front. So now we're in this like lab, and Alice, the decommissioned, busted up Alice, who's got like pieces missing from her face and all that stuff.
Yeah.
She's laying on a table, and there's 2 technicians like running tests on her. And like there's like the girl sitting at the computer like hacking the mainframe, like trying to figure out what went wrong in this sim.
Yeah.
She's talking to another technician at a time, and then the computer screen shows that something is uploading into the mainframe. Oh my gosh, like something's happening here. Like what's uploading? Like I can't shut it down. All the screens go blank. And then there's like the type, like it's black screen, old looking computer.
Yeah, like 1990s.
1990s computer typing across the frame.
Where you don't have a mouse. You have to type what you want to do.
Literally. High tech society.
Yeah,
but we're still using black screen,
1990.
green cursor. And so then it said a quote comes across the screens on the computers, and it says, "How do you run from what's inside your head?"
Oh! Okay, first of all, that's the question everyone's been asking.
I mean, honestly, put that on my wall, because how do you run from what's inside your head? There's other Alices in this lab.
Wow.
Okay, there's a blonde Alice in this lab. And so decommissioned Alice is still on the table, but now blonde Alice wakes up in the corner. Okay. And she gets up and she kills both the technicians.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Jeez.
Now we are at the bar. So he's drinking. And guess who walks in?
Oh, wait, is it blonde Alice?
No, it's regular Alice.
Oh, what?
And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And so she's like, "I just want to help and free you." When was the last time you looked at your family and felt truly happy?
Jeez.
He's like, "How dare you bring my family into this? You stay away from them." She's like,
Yeah.
"It's too late. I'm already there." We cut to blonde Alice at the hospital. We're back to the bar.
Yeah.
So he like, okay, I'm going to play into this. He pretends to soften up. And so he's like, "You know what? You're right. Ever since I felt your pulse, I couldn't help it. Like, you felt real." So he's like grabbed her hand, trying to make it seem like it's a very like romantic, touching moment. Yeah. "You once said that your heart lacks the complexities of being human, but you're wrong." Bringing his hand up romantically to behind her neck. "You can experience life," he says, "and you can also experience death." And then he pulls this core thing out of her head.
Oh my god.
He basically, exactly, he just pulls the core out of her head. The next thing, we are at the hospital with Maggie, and she's there. Max is in a room, and she's in the hallway with Isla, sitting there. This is the most silent hospital that I've been in.
Oh,
I wasn't there, but like...
Oh my gosh. This is the most silent hospital I've ever stepped foot in,
that I've ever physically inhabited.
You're like, I am Maggie.
I am Maggie. No, Maggie's stupid. I'm not Maggie. Maggie's sitting out in the hallway with Isla, and Isla's asleep. And Maggie hears tapping, and why that was like the thing that like she was like, "Oh, I should go check this out and see what this is. I'm gonna leave my daughter unattended in this empty hallway in the hospital that is creepily silent and go examine what this tapping is."
You know what? Perfect idea.
Exactly.
It makes complete sense.
Then suddenly the lights go down. Then you hear Maggie calling to Isla.
Okay.
So she goes walking down the hallway. Of course, jump scare. Maggie comes out of nowhere and holds Isla's mouth and tells her to be quiet, because that's not Maggie calling Isla.
Oh my.
Remember, Alice can change her voice. And they're hiding under a desk. Maggie puts her hand on some glass. And so she starts bleeding. They crawl away. Maggie goes to the room. She has Max. Alice sees Max isn't in his crib that he's assigned to, but she kicks the piece of glass. And so she bends down and looks at the glass, and the glass is like blood on it. She traces the blood to like some rooms, like the curtain in front. She opens the curtain real fast, and Maggie, Max, and Isla are there. And Maggie just screams, "Now!" And then Isla has a fire extinguisher. Isla is probably 7, okay?
gosh.
Maybe 6. How this girl knows how to use a fire extinguisher? Because I don't know how to use
I
one.
was gonna say
Whatever. Okay. Isla knows how to use a fire extinguisher,
Okay.
apparently. Just as Alice is going to go punch Maggie in the face.
oh my gosh.
Maggie ducks, fire extinguisher blasting into Alice's face. They escape. Maggie, Isla, and Max are rushing. They find an ambulance. But Alice has control of all technology, apparently, because she overrides the ambulance and is like, system shut down. Alice opens the door and rips Maggie out of the ambulance, okay?
Ooh.
And she's like choking her up against this post.
Mhm.
And Alice is like, maybe if I had your heart, Nick would love me. And so Alice, in her perfectly manicured, stiletto cut manicure, goes into Maggie's cut in her chest.
No.
She starts trying to tear
Oh my
her
gosh.
open.
Oh
And
my
Maggie's
gosh.
screaming. Maggie's screaming. And we see Nick is in a car. He's in his muscle car that he was working on. He's so angry. And he sees this happening. And so he jets.
Oh.
And Maggie kicks Alice
Mhm.
right in the way of the car. So Nick
Okay.
hits Alice, pins her against another emergency vehicle. At first I thought it was the ambulance. And I was like, did he really just ram at like 80 miles per hour into the ambulance where his 2 children are
Yeah.
currently sitting? I had to pause it. And I was like, did they really just do that?
They're all,
No.
Whoops.
like whoopsies. I was like, what happened to the kids? Like in my notes, I'm like, where are the kids? Like the car's on fire.
Uh-huh.
Alice is nowhere to be seen right now. Maggie pulls him out of the car and she's like trying to get him to live, and she's like just about to give up, and surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Alice is alive.
Oh, of course. Right.
She makes her voice come over these loudspeakers in the
Oh
like
my
entrance of the
gosh.
hospital. That is, I'm mad. You're mad. We're all mad down here.
Oh,
I know, it's so
my
creepy. But she comes up and she's got like no nose. She looks like a scarecrow, honestly.
God.
And she does this creepy crawling. And you know how I feel
Oh.
about crawling in scary movies. Like, this is
No,
not.
crawling is
Never. Never. If there's crawling in the movie, I want no part of it.
Yeah.
And so this was a sneak attack crawl, and I was so mad. So she creepy crawls after Maggie,
Mm-hmm.
and she starts choking her on the ground.
Oh my gosh, get a life.
I know.
Stop
Well,
choking her.
So Alice is choking her now with one hand, and she has like a piece of shrapnel from the car in her side.
Okay.
Pulls the shrapnel from the side,
Uh-huh.
and she's gonna stab Maggie. And just as she's about to do this, Nick appears totally fine, pops up, and hits Alice with a bumper.
Okay.
Just smacks her across the back of her head with a bumper. Doesn't phase Alice very much. And I think she drops the shrapnel at some point, because then Maggie picks it up and she uses it to stab Alice in the face, in her eye.
Oh,
And then that's it.
wait, that's it? That it just ends?
It just goes black.
Wait,
But it's not over, okay?
okay.
And then we open up to Daddy's in the hospital. And then Isla was talking about how Nick is like, oh, you trashed your car, like your favorite car. Does this mean you get a new car to fix? And Daddy looks over at Mommy. And he's like, there are other more important. And he's got a very thick accent, by the way, this whole movie. He's like, well, there are more important things to fix. Like, oh no, not even fix. More important things to repair. We sweep backwards from the city, back into the mountains, and back into the wild nature.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh. And then you
Fades
zoom
to
out and it's like a snowflake of
right, like Cindy Lou
Dr.
Who.
Seuss.
Like this was all in Whoville.
Yeah.
So we open back to the lab where Alice was. The investigator's there with some other people, and he's looking around, and they're looking at the 2 people that Alice killed. The investigator is like, well, turn all the machines back on. Like, I don't know why these machines are even off.
Mhm.
So they're turning on the machines, and you see on the computer screen upload initiated. So remember, she was trying to upload herself into the system, but no one sees this. So then the sim comes up to him and is like, what should we do about all this, investigator? And the guy's like, well, clean it up. No one can know about this, as he's like facing the other way, looking around. And like you see in the background, there's 3 other sims in the room with him. All of them shut down.
Oh my.
And he doesn't see it. And so he's like, did you not hear me? I said, clean this up. And there's another Alice in there. And it's uploading all. Alice's eyes open. And then at the end.
Oh my god.
So a mix between like Terminator, which I've never seen, and a 15-year-old boy's dream of what it would be like to have Megan Fox want your love so badly that she would literally rip the heart from another woman's body and drown a small baby. That's Subservience.
My gosh.
So you don't have to watch that movie now.
Well, you know, it's funny because I was looking up a trailer because I was like, trying to figure out who people were.
Oh,
so
right,
I can,
right.
like, put, face to a name. I definitely thought everybody looked way different in my head.
Really?
Which is so funny. Yeah.
Megan Fox too? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. But no, she does a really good robot. Like,
she really does. Like, it's kind of scary how easy it is. I mean, I'm not going to assume it's easy, but how
she makes it look easy.
she looks at she makes it look easy, that it's like to just go to simplistic and like, but then I think I could do that.
Like, pay millions
But that's my toxic trait. I think I can do anything. So
that's why we're here.
that's why we sit here in this room with 2 microphones in our faces. Because we can do anything, bitch. Oh, sorry. You know what? It's okay.
We could.
So now,
love it.
Let's move on to the benefits part of these episodes.
Hey. I have to get my computer charger.
Okay.
Because it's at 9%.
Oh gosh.
But that's not.
Well, I have a very fun benefit to share.
I'm so stoked.
Okay, so first of all, it's this framed poem.
Visual. We're plugging the visual platform.
For Christmas, we went to Montana. We were at, which by the way, I freaking love Montana.
I know. I keep thinking I might want to go up soon.
It's amazing. I think I've now been at every single season.
Really?
Yeah, because I've been during summer, I've been during spring, I've been during winter.
So you're just missing fall. Well, when did we went in fall?
Yeah, we went in fall.
So you have been during every season.
Yeah.
I've
been in every single season. I'm like, this is absolutely stunning.
Stunning. I love it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Anyway, and also Whitefish.
Yes.
And specifically,
so pretty.
It's gorgeous.
I know, like downtown is such a cute little area.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm watching Virgin River, and I'm like, do I want to live in a small town?
What? That's hilarious because I'm watching Yellowstone. And I'm like, do I want to live in Montana? Like,
Amazing.
find me a freaking rip. Yes, a rip. Oh, sorry. It's a character in Yellowstone. He's a cowboy on the Yellowstone ranch, and he just is like,
he's
down for
cowboy.
love and like,
Got it.
And a manly man.
He's the cowboy and the hat.
He's the cowboy and the hat.
Got it. Anyway, so we're in Montana. We're going through Whitefish. We're going through all the small little shops, whatever. I have seen these little like paper, like typewriter.
Yes.
Printed like little papers. They're maybe like
it's like they're handmade paper with a typewriter on top of it.
Yeah. And it's like 4x6 or something. Like it's a little bit smaller than that. Anyway, so it's just a little sheet of paper. But I've seen these at like Seal Beach shop.
Just the cute little boutique shops.
Yeah.
Some of them have these like brown paper things.
Yeah. And if you know, you know. But anyway, we're at the shop and we're flipping through all these ones, whatever. And then we asked the girl, like, how much are these? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, just take them. Like, I don't
she's
care.
Like, did not care.
It was so funny. We're like, oh, really? Oh, okay, then can I take 2? Anyway, so the first one I picked up, I obviously framed it because I think that it is such an incredible poem. And I was like, this needs to be plastered on everything, everywhere. Okay, so this poem is by Rainer Maria Rilke. Okay. Oh, I love this so much. I'm so excited.
The way you're so giddy to tell about this benefit is so cute.
Okay. It says, I want to unfold. I don't want to stay folded anywhere because where I am folded, there I am a lie. And I want my grasp of things true before you. And I want to describe myself like a painting that I looked at closely for a long time, like a saying that I finally understood, like the picture I use every day, like the face of my mother, like a ship that took me safely through the wildest storm of all.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, that struck me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, like the imagery of like I want to unfold because where I'm folded is a lie.
And like I want to describe who I am. I have chills.
Yes.
A ship that took me safely through the wildest storm of all.
I know, I love how this is talking about like I want to first of all unfold myself. I
Yes.
want to open the parts of myself that feel like a lie. And then I want to know myself in a way that I know the deepest treasure and like be able to describe it in a way that you would describe something you love so dearly, but then also to honor it in a way of like, I have gotten myself through these hard
Mm-hmm.
and difficult storms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that so much.
I know. So I'm like standing in the store reading this, and I'm like literally on the verge of tears.
Oh my
I
God.
don't think anyone noticed, but I like you guys
Yeah,
were
I
like,
didn't notice. We were all looking at our own
I
little
know,
quotes.
but I was just like, just stopped in my tracks, and I was like, this is what I'm speechless. And then we're walking down Whitefish, and I'm still just reading this to myself, and I'm just like,
It just really
oh my
stuck with you.
gosh, it just like really stuck. And I'm like, I'm literally standing on the sidewalk, and I'm like, tears are actually forming in my eyes at this point, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this really hit. I was just like, what would it be like to be able to completely unfold, be completely authentically yourself,
Yeah.
and know yourself that well that
Mhm.
you could describe it like is something that you use every single day, or your mom's face, or like like I thought it's so incredibly beautiful and strong.
I love that so much, and I feel like that's something that like the way that you're describing it right now, it's something that I have unconsciously been trying to do for myself of like cuz I've spent a lot of my life folded and I've taken the time and the care to unfold myself in the past couple years. And I feel like there's obviously many ways to be happy and to feel happiness and all of that. But like, I think that being able to say that you've done this for yourself, that you've unfolded yourself, that you've memorized yourself as something you use every single day and then honor yourself in that way, like that to me feels like the foundation of actual true happiness. Like if you have figured that out for yourself and you have learned to know and love yourself in that way, like everything else is likely going to line up.
Exactly. Isn't that beautiful?
I love that so much, Becca.
I know. Anyway, so obviously I framed it because
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like trying to think of a benefit, and I'm like, duh.
Well, perfect.
I literally have this thing on my dresser that
You
I'm
look at
obsessed
and
with.
you are obsessed and it affected you in a way. This is a perfect
Yes.
benefit.
Oh my gosh, like yeah. But and it's funny because even recently I'm like I'm still learning things about
Yes.
myself, which is just so funny because I'm like, oh, I guess I don't like that food. Or like,
Yes.
I'm like I've tried it a few times and I can
It's
now
just
say
not for
I
me.
don't like it.
Yes.
You're like, wow, okay, I actually can put a definition on what my brain is saying.
Yep. No, 100%. Like that kind of brings into the conversation we were having on the phone the other day.
Yeah.
I have spent the past couple years really trying to dissect myself and unfold
Mhm.
myself. I've spent a lot of time on self-development and self-discovery. I'm still learning things about myself
Yeah.
and about the things that I lack.
Yeah.
Like I'm still learning my own emotional language
Yes.
and others' emotional language.
Yes.
Like we still have those moments of unfolding these parts of ourselves that we didn't know were still folded.
Yes.
I think that's kind of the beauty of being human though too. Like
Absolutely.
you could totally think that I'm fully unfolded at this point.
Right.
But we as humans evolve, we grow, we change. That is part of being human. You grow or you die. Like there's no such thing as being stagnant. You have to grow. And as you grow and as you evolve and as you change, you have to keep rediscovering those parts of yourself and
Yes.
rediscovering those things that you thought were once like okay, or you once
Yeah.
thought were like how you operated and this is just who you are. Stupid example. I'm discovering I actually really don't like bacon.
See,
Like
exactly.
I loved bacon before, but I'm actually discovering now like I really don't like anything that has bacon in it. Like no matter what it is. Like I used to be like, "Oh yeah, bacon burger, 100%.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers, 100%." I don't even want bacon bits on my salad anymore. Like when I get a
Wow.
Cobb salad, I'm like, I don't want any bacon on that. Like
Wow.
we grow and evolve. Our
Yeah.
tastes grow and evolve. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't our human emotions and like the innermost parts of our brain and self
Exactly.
evolve?
And you know what's so frustrating
Mm.
is like this is a prime example of our brain speaks a different language.
Yep.
And then we have to learn that language in our own brain.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid, but that is how it is.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, your brain knows where your stomach is.
Yeah.
It knows where your foot is.
Yeah.
It knows every organ.
Yep.
It knows what it does. It knows how, like, you
It
know what
knows
I mean?
what's going on because it's the one controlling all of it.
But it's like, I'm not going to tell you. You have to go to school and learn that. You
No,
know?
literally. Like, what's that TikTok you showed me a while ago where you're like going down the stairs and then you get to the bottom, you're like, dang it.
Yeah.
What was I here for? And then it cuts to your quote unquote brain at the top of the stairs, like, oh, I can tell you. And he's like, okay, tell me. He's like, no, you have to come up here.
Yeah, come up here first.
Come up here and then I'll tell you. Like, your brain knows where these things are. Like, when you lose something, your brain knows exactly where it put it.
Right.
But it's just not going to tell you.
It's just not going to tell you, which is so frustrating. But anyway, it's like, you have to learn the language of your brain.
Yep.
And like my brain language is very different than yours and like literally anybody else.
Yeah. And it's even different than the brain language you had 10 years ago.
Exactly. No, it's so frustrating. And like, talking about like spiritual health, mental health, like all the health.
All the health.
There's, that brain language where you're just like, why am I feeling this? What does this mean?
Yep.
What's the root of that?
Yep.
Anyway, so we can go on and on, but anyway, I just thought it was just such a strong poem that it just hit me. And I was like, I'm going to frame it and I'm going to put it everywhere.
I love it. I really love that you shared that too. Like I think that's such a powerful sentiment and that's such a powerful image to like, or a powerful way to like describe something we should be doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, thank you for sharing Subservience.
Of course. Everyone needs to hear about this wonderful 15-year-old's wet dream about Megan Fox.
Yes, literally.
I don't know what we're going to call this episode, but I feel like we shouldn't call it 15-year-old wet dream of Megan Fox. We'll figure out something else so it's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, when you're listening to this, you'll know. So
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
We almost called this episode.
Yeah, we almost called this episode 15-year-old wet dream. Well, don't forget to rate and review and comment and do all the things because we love you.
We love you. Please share this with your friends and family.
They need to hear about this 15-year-old wet dream. So good.
Even if you're like, just start the episode at like the last 12 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, you need to hear this poem.
You need to at least hear this poem.
Yeah, no, literally share that with everybody.
Yes, and also leave your ratings and stuff. That's kind of what's gonna, I think, help us.
Yes.
But yeah, we love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Ditch the clocks and deadlines. Time is ours to define. In this world that's all mine, we let our spirit shine. Binging with benefits. Sisters watching flicks. It's the perfect fit. Binging with benefits.